So Lucio, thanks so much for being with us today. It was amazing watching you work, painting this beautiful Batman Who Laughs, I believe. I'd just like to ask you, how did you first start this sort of amazing career you've got now?
I started doing when I was very young, like probably 16 or 17. I started doing satiric drawing for a magazine, so black and white.
Like political cartoons?
Right, something like this. I was very, very young, and then I just used black and white ink, classic comic style, for years until I got like 20, 21, and then I discovered the colors, because I never did anything with colors beside graffiti. So you know graffiti on the street, like spray paint. And then I discovered the brush and the colors, so with acrylics, and I've been going crazy for that, and I stopped using ink and I just started colors. So I started doing illustrations for video games and advertisement, so more illustrations than comics. And then step by step I started working for video game companies, doing also comic pages illustrated for some big game companies, for few of the most biggest companies of the game industry. And then my dream was working for Marvel Comics, DC Comics, so doing this superhero stuff, and I started showing my portfolio to them, and step by step I started working with Marvel and other companies, other comic publishers like Dynamite. So I've been doing for a long time Red Sonja, Vampirella, and Dejatoris, Warlord of Mars, Grimm. So many covers for them, as well as Marvel Comics covers. At the same time, I was working for the role-play game industry.
Okay.
So Magic the Gathering, Warcraft, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. So I did many Magic cards, illustrations for D&D, and the Warcraft game when there was the card at the beginning. So I did a lot of things spread everywhere.
Yeah. And when you were showing your portfolios of Marvel and things like that, as you mentioned, were they ever asking you to perhaps consider doing interiors, like the interior, or did you prefer to do only the cover art?
No, I did also interiors for Marvel Comics.
Amazing.
At the beginning, when I started doing interiors, it was for the French market.
Right.
So I've been working for Soleil Publishing, and I did a few books, all hand painted.
Okay.
So interior stories, interior pages for a few years for them. So it was just the French market, like the typical French comic book. And after that, I did Marvel Comics interiors for World War Hulk.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, it was very nice story with all these characters fighting against Hulk. Was amazing, because I love the Hulk, because it's one of my favorite characters, and having him fighting against everybody else was really fun. So there was a Fantastic Force and Wolverine and Silver Surfer. So it was a very nice story.
Were you able to use the same techniques that you'd perhaps used in cover painting and doing the gaming things in the interiors, or did you have to alter your techniques quite?
For the French market, I did everything the same technique. So acrylics and everything with the brush and water and colors. When I was working for Marvel, I started doing this, but the time was a little bit more fast. Like the deadline was shorter, so I start with traditional techniques, and then I switch to digital because it's faster and I can finish in time for the deadline. But when I do the covers, I prefer to do real paintings. Like I don't like so much working digital. I love digital because it's very interesting. It's very helpful because you can finish very fast. But if I have to choose, I like painting. Like I like the real feeling of touch the colors and use the brush on canvas. So I like acrylics, oil paintings. Right now, in the past 3 years, I'm doing a lot of oil paintings. So I have a little bit more time, and that's why I prefer doing more covers or illustrations or private commissions than interiors.
It was certainly amazing seeing you work on this today. Like it was
Thank you.
a real treat.
That's for the moment. It's the first basic layer. So that's all acrylics, and then I will finish with oil painting on top of the acrylics. So I usually mix techniques.
Do you prefer working in the European market or with sort of the bigger American publishers, or do you have a preference at all?
Okay, right now I like more the like working for the US market. It's more a worldwide exposure, right? Okay, because like for example, Italian market is very small. Comic market is very small. We have probably one or two big companies, big publishers, but it's still like a small market. If you do something for Marvel or DC Comics, you have more followers around the world. If you do something for the Italian companies, it's just in Italy. There is more opportunity to show more your to work more with your imagination, your creativity, more outside of my country than Italy, because they are more flexible to new techniques and new ideas.
When you were growing up, what sort of comics did you read, and which artists do you feel have influenced you the most over the years, whether from comics or outside of that field?
Okay, I've been a big follower of Claudio Castellini and Jim Lee when I was growing up and I was studying comics because I want to become a comic artist. Then I discovered the colors, as I said before, and one of my favorite, biggest artists that I was following and studying was Frank Frazetta, and Boris Vallejo, and step by step, I discovering the colors. I started studying a lot the old master painters, like for example, like Norman Rockwell and all the 1800 painters.
Sort of, I'm thinking Vermeer, those sort of people.
Yes. So I'm a big fan of the museum art. So I love. I spend hours and hours in the museums studying the old masters, from Caravaggio until William Bouguereau and all the old masters, like 1700, 1800. And 1900, and then I love like Norman Rockwell because you can feel that he studied the old master. Like also Frank Frazetta, you can feel that he was a big fan of the old masters. So it's like traditional techniques that they I don't know the right word in English, when you give to your son something.
I was going to say, actually, looking at your work, you have a beautiful sense of light, and it kind of reminded me of looking at Rembrandt paintings. The illumination is fantastic. It's excellent. So, I mean, was that someone you perhaps would have looked at?
Yes, sure. Yes. No, I spend a lot of time traveling and going to the museums like Louvre or Musée d'Orsay. Also in Italy there are amazing museums where you can go very close to the paintings and watch the details, studying the light, the shadows, the brush strokes. And this is for me like the best experience to learn.
Yeah.
I didn't do a real school or academy because I'm self.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I studied everything by myself. So I had my father. He's a painter and a sculptor. So he was my real teacher, my real master. But beside my father, I didn't do like a real school where they teach you like traditional art. The academy, the Italian academy, I did the Italian academy, but it's very bad in terms of techniques and teaching because the teachers honestly they don't even know what they say during the years because they like too much modern art. So they don't, before doing modern art and I don't know, like abstract stuff like this, you have to learn the real techniques and you have to get your skills, no? You have to become a good artist, then you can create something new and do abstract or whatever you want. But they push the students to starting with abstract without studying anything else before. So I was trying to study by myself anatomy and techniques and colors and light and shadows, going to the museums. So I study everything by myself, just looking other artists. And right now it's a little bit easier because there is the internet. So you have so many artists that you can just click and choose and see and compare. And
but do you prefer to? Because I know you earlier you talked about being able to touch the colours and this sort of thing. Do you prefer to be able to see it with your own eye in a space rather than on the screen?
Yes, of course. But when I grew up, when I was studying, so let's say 20 years ago, there was internet wasn't like this.
No,
because unfortunately I'm old right now. But who is starting now? Let's say it's a student of 18 years old, 20 years old today. He with the click he can be everywhere in the world, and he have 1,000 different artists that he can study. So he can see from Bouguereau 1800 style until digital modern art from Japan, from India or from USA, and compare and study. Also, they are lucky because they have so many tutorials on YouTube from artists, so they can see video on YouTube and say, that's the technique, cool, okay, I'm gonna try this and try this and try this.
Did you ever make one of those videos showing people showing your techniques perhaps?
No, yes, I do that right
now.
You do?
Oh,
I
right,
do
excellent.
that.
Okay.
But when I was studying, when I was 18, 19, 20, and I was discovering, discovering, I didn't have any school, or any internet, any tutorial online, anything. So the only thing was watching a book with bad pictures of painting and say, how they did that. So I was trying, mixing the wrong paper with wrong canvas, wrong brush, wrong colors, mixing weird things. And then after years and years, I found out probably the right technique.
Right.
Take me years and years of training and practice. Right now it's very easy because you have the best artists online show you everything, like the colors, the technique, and how they do. You just have to watch a video from home. It's very easy. And you have so many schools right now: academy school, comic school, fine art school. So you just pay, you go there, and you listen to the teacher, and so it's faster right now.
Do you think it's better to go out and learn yourself the way you did, that sort of autodidactism, that kind of self-taught method, rather than perhaps going to
right now it's better to have a good teacher, like in a good school. Like right now there are so many good school, good academy everywhere in the world, fine art school where you can go there, you have like a real master teaching you everything. So probably in 1 year, 2 years you learn everything you need to know, and then you choose what kind of style, what kind of technique and whatever. 20 years ago it was harder because without a teacher and without internet, you have to imagine probably how these masters they used to create this masterpiece. So it was very hard. So it's better like this right now.
Okay.
It's much easier, especially there is so many other options like digital art and prints and everything that you have so many. Even just you need a reference. I remember if I need a reference when I was 20 years old. If I need a reference to just make a portrait, I need to find a magazine or call someone and take a picture. Right now, in 5 minutes, you Google, I don't know, like Wonder Woman. You have 1,000 pictures from the movie actress.
Yeah.
Or you need, I don't know, like landscape, mountain, volcano, or wherever, dinosaurs. You have everything on the web. And 20 years ago was harder because you have to use your imagination, and it was hard to find reference.
Okay. Going back to the sort of light and atmosphere and mood of your work, some of it's quite dark. The atmosphere is really, you can feel it kind of seeping off the page. It's fantastic. Is that something? Do you wait for? Let's say you're doing a commission. Do you kind of? Does the idea for the sort of mood you want to create come from the piece you're going to create, or is it something that you impose on the painting? Is it your mood? Is
right? No, I think it's my own. Probably my interior mood. I don't know, but everything I do is a little bit. If I look all my artwork in the past 20 years, there is this kind of little bit dark atmosphere. So it's probably because I grew up with that kind of background. Probably, I don't know, but movies and music, like I like a lot of like dark heavy metal music and thrash metal.
Right.
So I was drawing and painting, listening Metallica, Sepultura, Pantera, all this kind of very heavy metal or punk rock. So this influence a little bit more your what you do on canvas.
Sure.
Or what you horror movies. So probably is that, I don't know. Or probably experience of your life. I mean, if you live in a nice and quiet house in a field with flowers around, probably you are more relaxed and you paint blue sky and flowers and smiling people, happy people. I grew up a little bit in I grew up in South Italy, in a bad area, with not very nice situation. So I grew up in an area where there was a very bad things happens around me. So I wasn't so happy when I grew up. So probably you put on your paper, in your canvas, everything you absorb from outside, and that's the reason probably.
Just one final question: is there anything that you truly love to paint that you haven't been given the chance yet?
Right now, I have like my own ideas that probably, if one day when I will have the time to do something for myself, like big paintings, or I have very interesting ideas, which is not comics or not. It's more like Salvador Dali.
Sure.
Okay, so it's more this kind of style. So surrealism paintings. Mixed with my own style. So I have these kind of things in my mind and few sketches that probably one day I will take out.
We'll see. We'll finally get to see it.
Yes. For now I just do commissions. So if people ask me Batman, I do Batman. If people ask me portrait, I do a portrait. So right now, for example, I like doing sometimes fine art portrait, like even just old women portrait or like classic paintings, no, like someone not superhero,
Yeah.
not dark, not just like sometimes they do like a portrait of women just sitting like this. So it's fun. For the moment, for me, it's fun. For other people, probably they did so much of portrait they would like to do some crazy Venom. For me, right now, I'm having fun with the character like this. And if I have like a week for myself, I enjoy doing like a still life with flowers, for example, because it's different than what I do usually. But right now I'm very happy with work because I like doing commissions, and the people that follow me, so my followers and the collectors love me to do these characters, and they love to do this right now. So it's very happy. It's very it's a satisfaction doing this character and see people happy because I just make a painting with Venom or Hulk or Batman fighting against someone. So it's fun, right now. It's perfect.
Okay. Well, I hope that your work will continue for a long time. I hope that one day we'll see your surrealist work. But this is certainly beautiful stuff. And thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you.